My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to the Bazaar, where it's time to play Vanessa. In the Bazaar. Alright. Give me the weapon. I don't even know what the weapon is in this instance. Launcher. Well, they're all small, so it's no launcher for me. Pet Rock. Every 5 seconds, deal 10 damage if it's your only friend. Your items have 10% additional crit chance. There's also Clamora. Every 9 seconds, slow 2 items for a single second. At the start of the fight, use this, so very good for starting to ramp off on slow builds, but slow builds don't really get much juice until Silver tier. Coral. When you buy an aquatic item, this gains 6 heal, and it by default has 10, does every 4 seconds. And then finally, Pearl. I have always wanted to build around the Pearl, but the Pearl is a defensive choice, so it's part of a defensive package next to a bunch of other stuff. But the other stuff can be aquatic items, because the Pearl says, when you use another aquatic item, charge this for a second. Middle sells medium items, of which there are a fair few aquatics. There's a treasure chest and strange mushroom. My nightmare would be going to middle, not finding an aquatic item that I want to use, rolling and not finding another aquatic item I want to use at all. Suddenly I have no direction and no money. That's not going to happen to me.
I'll help you find who does.
So Coral Armor, when you buy another aquatic item, this gains 4 shield. That's not really the direction I want to go because of the Pearl. The Pearl is hopefully going to be my main shielding, so buying and selling a bunch of aquatic items for the sake of Coral Armor while the Pearl is already the thing that I'm relying on for my shielding doesn't seem great. Shark Claws, though. Every 4 seconds, deal 5 damage. Your weapons gain 3 additional damage for the fight, including the Shark Claws. It's a scaling option. There's also Harpoon, destroy a small item every 8 seconds. Still an aquatic item. This is a full aquatic spread. Harpoon can win a couple of early fights. Take out the opponent's powder flask or something like that. Suddenly they can't really do too much. But I'm going to take Shark Claws here.
Really gonna enjoy that.
So Shark Claws, your weapons gain 3 damage for the fight. I believe that means I should go to Fanged Inglet. So the Viper does only have 100 health. They've got Toxic Fang, as well as Lash Out. They poison at the start of the fight. That's a problem. They poison at the start of the fight, and then they give more poison over the course of the fight as well. Whereas Fanged Inglet does just have fangs that aren't toxic. The reason I'm interested in the Fang is because it is a weapon, a small weapon that attacks every 4 seconds. So to be benefiting a lot from the Shark Claws. I don't know if I can beat the Viper with this build. So Poison 3, with my Shark Claw, over the course of 20 seconds, it does 5 and then 8 and then that many additional, so it's 4 times 8 additional, and then there's a way to figure out this much faster than I'm actually doing in the instance. But at the end of those 5 triggers, it will have 20 damage. And it's been ramping up those the entire time. I don't know if I beat Viper. It's time to find out. The 3 poison at the start is definitely the part I'm most scared of. Like, I'm going to shield all of the direct damage from the Fang, but this poison, it matters. I'll survive the Sandstorm if we get far enough to the Sandstorm. 2, 3, 4... That's incredible. We killed them on the same frame the poison killed us. Thankfully, that counts as a win. And we got the Toxic Fang. Yes. Oh, that worked out so well. You're kidding me. Monster Ranch, the ability to upgrade the damage of the Toxic Fang. Give me some silver. Silver additional poison through the extract. Thank you kindly. There's also a pelt for more money. There's the lost chest. Curio for bronze junk tier items. There's some bronze junk tier items I really care about, but I think right now I'm just gonna take my additional money and celebrate it. Silver Crow. I imagine you probably haven't run into this build before on day one, Silver Crow. What are you up to over there on that side of the board? The core, when you use any item to the left of this, charge a second, and when you use it, charge all items to the right for a second, and then a security camera for 20% crit chance on 20 shield. Yeah, that's not gonna do. That's surprisingly huge amount of poison to get early on in just a weapon that I can slot into this build in a single slot. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm really happy about that, in fact.
Land legs make you place to store the rest of the tyrant's gold.
Upgrade your leftmost bronze tier items. So the Shark Claws will double its scaling from that, which is really, 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 really good at this point in time. I could get extract for additional poison. It will only be bronze tier poison at this point, so it'll get to 6 poison per application on the Toxic Fang, which isn't bad. But the thing is, Toxic Fang is always eventually going to leave this build. It's never going to be, you know, staying around long. All right. Let's upgrade the claws themselves. Quixel sells small and medium items. The mountain pass is there. The mountain pass for a very early income increase. I do like additional income, but also I can get additional income just by fighting and stuff like that, right? Take the fight there, try and win the fight. It could put me up against an enemy that is much higher level than I want. Can it? Actually, I need to know that. That's something I'm not certain about. Because I think I've seen the mountain pass give me a higher level fight than I could possibly have been prepared for, but I'm not certain. I'm going to field some additional items from Quixel. Arbalist. When you haste, this gains 25 damage for the fight. I'd love to be able to use it, but I can't. There's also Catfish. When this gains haste, get +1 poison for the fight. Give it +1 poison for the fight, rather. My Shark Claws are currently locking me in to only picking up weapons if I really want benefit. And that's aquatic weapons as well. How many aquatic weapons are there? Is it just the fish? Because that's not enough. Show me aquatic weapons. This anchor comes in later. Electric eels. Flagship narwhal. Piranha. Shark claws, which is already here. Submarine torpedo. Shark ray. Yeah, I'm not going to find aquatic weapons until later. So I should definitely focus on other things at the moment. I'm trying to figure out whether I should pick up coral and catfish literally just to be on the board alongside Pearl. When you buy an aquatic item, this gains 3 heal. You know what? I'm going to do that, and I'm going to buy the catfish, and I'm going to roll. We find cannon, grenade, and bolus. None of those are aquatic. They are, indeed, weapons, though. That's fine. Pearl charge a lot quicker, and I've got some health to get me through the fight. I've got a little bit of direction for later. Catfish can get really good if I invest into it. Okay. Andy sells small items. There's an obstacle course, but with the amount of money I'm holding onto at the moment, I'm going to want to return the crate. Rogue Scrapper. Coconut Crab does have Crusher Claw, which is an aquatic weapon. Unfortunately, it's a Crusher Claw that attacks every 8 seconds to deal damage equal to the highest shield value item I have. That'd be great if I had the Cove, but I don't. Coconut Crab also has Seashell, which for a cooldown of 5 shields you 10 for each aquatic item you have. That'd be really great for my early game. Shadowed Cloak. Wait, this is Rogue Scrapper, not Borea. Oh, I can beat the Rogue Scrapper? I may have even said Rogue Scrapper out loud before I then did all of my decision making around the fact that it was the Borea, which it isn't. Great shielding from that Pearl right there. Keeping us happy and healthy the entire time. Getting back to max HP with the Coral as well. There's even a Junkyard Repair Bot or a Medkit I can sell here to increase the healing the Coral's providing. Scrap to increase the shielding provided by the Pearl.
Pathetic, as spineless as a jellyfish.
Barbed Wire. When you shield, this gains 5 damage for the fight. And it's a weapon that will be on board. Nothing against it. JJ sells items. Let's go for some broad tier items. I'm definitely looking for aquatic. And there is the Dock Lines. Slows an item for 4 seconds. It's an aquatic item.
I get it. You're busy. Enjoy your purchase.
Powder Flask for reloading the item to the right of this by a single ammo. Now, there's kind of an opportunity cost thing going on here, which is I don't know if I'll find the Powder Flask later, but if I have the Powder Flask, instantly the most powerful thing that I can find is the Energy Potion. The Energy Potion giving all of your items, including itself, haste for 4 seconds, but it only has 1 ammo. Just with the Powder Flask and the Energy Potion, all of your items on board are permanently hasted. That is a 2-item, no-skill combination that does that. Not many things do. I'm going to take the Powder Flask. That's a speculative Powder Flask right there. Thankfully, I've got some additional money in the inventory if I need it. Cutlass for the crit damage, no thank you. It does have multi-hit, but I don't care about that. There's the Cove, baby! Boo, ba doo, boo, boo, boo!
So, how about this weather where... Oh, you're leaving.
So Cove is additional shielding. Every 3 seconds, it'll shield us equal to the item's value. And it'll give a second worth of charge to the Pearl, increasing shielding factor for the Barbed Wire. I need to keep as many aquatic items as I possibly can on board, but this is good. There's also a lighter and bolus, don't need those. Upgrade your leftmost bronze tier item, offered again. There's aquatic items that their cooldowns reduced by 3%, but that's actually not really what we want here. So, I've got to figure out what I want to put on board. Because this is a scaling option. Yes, the Shark Claws is a scaling option for my damage. But is it a better scaling option than Barbed Wire? Because the damage increase on Toxic Fang, that doesn't really matter. The poison matters from Toxic Fang. The damage increase given to it by Shark Claws can be irrelevant if I'm getting enough other benefits on the board. So I currently have 2 empty spaces. If I could take off Shark Claws, put on Cove, put on the Barbed Wire, suddenly I'm missing one of my aquatic triggers. But I added another aquatic trigger, so the Pearl will still resolve as quickly as it has been previously. This is also shield every 3 seconds. So before the Barbed Wire goes off for the first time, the Cove will have gone off. This is a 4-second trigger. The Pearl will not have gone off, right? The Cove will go off, the Pearl and the Barbed Wire will trigger at the same time. But it's getting 10 damage every cycle of that. And the cycle occurs in every 3 to 4 seconds. It itself is scaling faster than the Shark Claws. It's just 1 size smaller and allows me to put the Cove on field. On top of that, There's eventually a transition in here where the coral and the catfish come off the build, and we add the dock lines instead in order to disrupt the enemy. But, and this is why I'm talking about this at the moment, the dock lines get so much better after a single upgrade. It slows 2 items for 4 seconds. It's so much better. The Cove will get additional shielding, but currently, the amount the Cove shields for is not what I care about. What I care about is that it shields, for the sake of the Barbed Wire's growth. I think the item I need to upgrade is dock lines.
Ooh, the keener the blade, the quicker the fight.
Botanical Gardens for a poison item. Cult sells items with ammo. Could be related to the Powder Flask, but it's not going to be an energy potion. I think it's time to go into the Jungle Ruins, and if there were money as an option in the Jungle Ruins, I would take it. I guess there is, get a small item for Vanessa. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take the experience, thank you. I think this is the best board I can field right now.
My fight isn't with you, but if you insist.
Oh, you just got a single rifle on field, doing 10 damage every 2 seconds. Alright, I win. And, as it turns out, the dock lines wasn't even upgraded for this fight. It's still only slowing a single item. Woohoo! Okay, we're on a really good path now. Next things I really care about investing in, increasing the amount of shielding provided by the Cove. So, chocolate bars are great, give me a bunch of HP as well as let me upgrade the Cove's value a bunch of times there. And he sells small items. There's not that many small items I'm desperately interested in right now. Get a friend in general. I mean, all of the friends will be aquatic for a start. Pip sells bronze tier skills. Something that affects, like, final dose for a couple of additional poison points on the Toxic Fang would be good. I have another shop after this, and Andy is just not really what I want. Alright, I'm gonna hit the block party. Worst case scenario, yeah. Pet Rock, every 5 seconds deals 5 damage if it's your only friend, 5% crit chance. Worst case scenario, I can sell that later. Oh. Well, I do want to go to middle for medium tier items, but didn't I just say that I care about increasing my shielding? And Finn's Big Bite is increasing our shielding. It will give us 5% max HP, as well as 10 additional shielding for all of our shield items. The Pearl and the Cove thank us heavily for having done so. Rogue Scrapper and Scout Trooper. So Scout Trooper definitely doesn't have anything that I actually want as an item to pick up. But it does have the additional experience. Rogue Scrapper, however, has items that I want, as well as skill that I want. Also not entirely certain I beat the Scout Trooper. But the Rogue Scrapper gives us the ability to even upgrade the Barbed Wire. Give me the silver tier Barbed Wire. Let me get a gold tier Barbed Wire. I'll go all in on this kind of shield trigger build. I'll find a duct tape. You don't think I can? I can. I'm gonna go to the docks, find a duct tape right there. You know how I know? Because it's a tool and it's a shield. 2 of the options get it. Obviously, the additional healing from the medkit or the junk bot, not really a high priority for me at the moment, but I am about to get 2 more slots, so until I find something better, I will be putting the Coral, I think? Coral out on the field?
Waste of gun.
Yes! Yes! Do it!
Place to store
Woo!
the rest of the tyrant's gold.
All right. I'm gonna try and do this the shield trigger build on Vanessa. Aquatic items have their cooldowns reduced. 2 scrap for additional shield. Now that I'm on day 3 and level 3, I believe this will be silver tier, which is so much better. 3 loot items in general. I mean, there are ones that I really want. Cooldown reductions probably first and foremost on that list. Do I want to feel Pet Rock for the additional crit chance? I'm definitely getting Coral on the field. It's not Aquatic, so no Pet Rock for me, thank you. Mm, 3% cooldown reduction for the entire board. Well, for the important parts of the board. It's not nothing. I think the shielding on the Pearl is actually more important, though. Oh, no, there's still bronze tier. That's unfortunate. Before I go anywhere else, I'm going to go to Curio. Before I even sell anything. Okay. There's a lot of hits in here. First off, we have some additional damage immediately given to an item. That's great. Some regen. 2% cooldown reduction for the entire board. The Proboscis is here. I don't think I speculatively buy a Proboscis in this situation, but... There's also Shadowed Cloak. When you use the item to the right of this, haste it for a second. If it's a weapon, it also gains 3 damage for the fight. Unfortunately, it takes up too much space to really be good in a build where I'm actually trying to focus on other triggers, I think. I'm definitely taking the Feather.
That's a bargain.
I think the Gland could be valuable. 1% crit chance, 5 damage. I'm going to take Agility Boots, the Old Sword, and the Gland, and then I'm going to roll. Yeah, there's the Taurus Chariot, which I was kind of expecting. I'm going to get rid of the Shark Claws and Pet Rock now. Oh, I have to get rid of one more thing. Dang. The Gland. Then I'm going to buy the Taurus Chariot for 6. I'll sell it for 3. I'll move my Barbed Wire over, sell the Old Sword for 2, sell the Agility Boots for everything. I've got both of these scraps. This is why I didn't want to sell these scraps before coming to Curio, by the way, because I have the ability to sell them now for more money. There's the Crusher Claw. Every 8 seconds, your shield items gain 2 shield for the fight and deal damage equal to your highest shield value among items you have. Eventually, if the Cove gets large enough, that's a great item. That's a very, very, very long time in the future I'd be planning for, and it's a future that only exists if I get to it. Both the Coconut and Citrus sell for 0, which makes them less appealing than Gland was, which sells for 1, as well as giving a regeneration. Junkyard Repair Bot. I get 3 heal just by buying an aquatic item. I could buy and sell a Junkyard Repair Bot to give it 5 heal for the cost of 2 gold. I think I'd prefer to actually leave this shop with some money. So I think that's where we go. Some money is really good when you come out into an eating contest. Sterling is good, don't get me wrong. Sterling, especially with a dock line or a beach ball? Oh god, can I turn that down? I actually have enough money for a dock line or a beach ball as well as a reroll. Ugh. Getting 150 max HP right now would be insane. It would be really good for us. I can't turn it down. 150 max HP as well as 5 additional shielding on the Cove. It's so much value. Mala_IDK.
Go ahead.
IDK?
Underestimate me. It makes this more fun.
I don't know what that says. What, you got the two Aluzo rays next to one another? How dare you go fishing? There's Flagship. It's got 3 multicast, but it's also constantly being slowed. Okay, so I didn't need 150 extra max HP to win this fight. But we're eventually going to run into the fight that I wouldn't have won without it. And then you'll see, then they'll all see. Good work, Barbed Wire. Really putting it in.
You fall like a boulder. I flow like the waves.
Orion sells tools. Dockline is a tools. Eating contest. Oh no. Poison is still really good on the Toxic Fang, so I don't actually want to sell it yet. But 150 max HP calls my name. It beckons me. It entreats me. Ryan. I hear it saying, Ryan, you could have 870 max HP. Oh. How dare you? Absolutely sniped by the game there. Oh, work at the docks to earn some coin? Happily. Give me a dock lines. A shield item. Honestly, shield items that trigger... Because this can give you items from other characters. In fact, it's weighted to quite likely give you items from other characters. At least compared to other sources. So this could give me something really good. Like duct tape. I mean, so could tool, but it could give me other things that trigger shield based off of adjacent item usage. And more triggers of shield is very good for Pearl as well as for Barbed Wire. Goggles. When this gains haste, give your items 4% crit chance for the rest of the fight. And it activates every 7 seconds. That's not great. Boiler Room Brawler, Boiler Room Brawler has silver goggles. As well as an energy potion. If you give me the energy potion, I'm gonna be so mad, buddy. I'm gonna be furious. I'm gonna stamp up and down like a Looney Tune. I'm gonna... They also have the silver goggles, so I could upgrade my goggles if I really want to here. There's the energy potion. Suddenly it becomes the powder flask waiting room if I find that. Oh, this poison. Like, by the end of the fight, sure, the barbed wire is eclipsing it, but the poison got them there. Toxic Fang.
Was that even a battle? Maybe a skirmish.
Multi-tool. Every 4 seconds, haste another item for 2 seconds, and slow an item for 2 seconds. Great.
Another empty chest, waiting to be filled.
Upgrade your leftmost silver tier item, you say. I mean, barbed wire is already upgraded, but that's dock lines. Yep. I mean, 3 loot items, scrap, medkit healing even. No pain, no gain is not an option here, but the rest of them are. But dock lines being able to slow 3 items for 4 seconds at the same time.
This will inspire the crew.
How do you beat that? I'm going to sell my goggles so that I have a total of 8 when I go to this Monta Ranch. I would like 2 gold tier items. 12 additional shielding for the Pearl. Yes, thank you. 3 additional regen as well as 4 gold. I mean, how do you turn your nose up at any of that? JJ sells items. I could theoretically roll and still have enough money after selling a catfish to pick up an upgraded cove, which would be really relevant to us. Honestly, having the additional aquatic item on board is actually probably better than the multi-tool right now. It just hastes another item, just a random other item for 2 seconds. JJ sells items. But most of my other items are aquatic, which means that if this targets the Fang or the Barbed Wire, I'm actually pretty happy about it. But if it doesn't target those, it takes 2 seconds off the cooldown of a different thing. So actually, this ends up in more aquatic casts overall, I believe. Because this is 6 seconds to get a single aquatic class. This is every 4 seconds, take 2 seconds off of another cast. It's most likely aquatic. Yeah. JJ sells items. Lost crate for experience. JJ's.
Ah, a friend. I mean, a customer.
I was a little worried about this. Silencer. Weapon to the left of this has 10 additional damage. If you have exactly one weapon, reduce its cooldown by 10%. I could get the Barbed Wire to attack faster. 0.4 seconds faster. The other option here is Coral Armor. When you buy another aquatic item, this gains 8 shield. Again, no. For the same reasons as before. I'm gonna slot that on board. I'm gonna get that cooldown reduction. Hell, I'm even gonna reroll. That's an early sniper rifle. So every 10 seconds, it fires for 100 damage. If it's my only weapon, then it fires for 330 while it's next to the silencer. And it fires in 9 seconds. 330 in 9 seconds. It takes an additional slot over the top of the barbed wire. I just wonder. I wonder if sniper rifle and silencer next to my full kind of aquatic build is the next direction to go here. Because barbed wire is not gonna... Barbed wire can't stay forever. I don't have enough shield triggers for it yet. This fires about 3 times. Yeah, just short of 3 times for each time the sniper rifle would fire. And by the time this goes off, it's already doing 40-ish damage. It's gaining around 30-ish every interval between its firing. So let's just think, even before it's done any scaling, it's 50, 80, 110, doing 240 damage in the first 10 seconds-ish. The sniper rifle is doing 330 in that time. After that point, the barbed wire is better. But the sniper rifle still has upgrades to go, whereas the barbed wire can only get 1 stage better than it currently is. It's just a very early sniper rifle. I have a lot of HP. I have the right build to support it. Eventually, it will need crit, which means I'd end up taking the Cove off the... It's a completely different build. The reason it has to take me so long to decide to do this is because this is a completely different build to put on board. But it's a build that has some support, I think. I just don't think the barbed wire can ever get big enough, fast enough for me to be as happy with it as I want it to be. I'm so sorry, gold barbed wire. But you're not coming home with me today. Oh, is the game trying to save me from doing that? If I load back in and the barbed wire isn't sold, maybe I should choose something else. Oh my god, it isn't. You kidding me? You're really gonna do me like this? You're gonna make me sell it again? I already had to unplug the life support family member once. Get the coral.
The blade, the quicker the fight.
Sniper rifle. Pop it in the right position. 330 damage. So I've got my aquatic core here to help me live. And then I've got my sniper rifle here to help me do the opposite to the enemy. War and peace. Excuse me, can I proceed? I opted to try and leave this room, please. Okay. I'll jump back from the main menu. Give it a little kickstart. Sometimes you gotta get out and start spinning the motor with your own hands with these turbo prop engines. Really? Again? How many times are you gonna force me to do this? So put your little hand in mine. What?
I get it. You're busy. Enjoy your purchase.
Ores are one with gold, they say.
Do you have to leave already?
I'm so confused. Anyway, I ended up selling the wrong thing as well. Probably not gonna make a difference, but I ended up selling the wrong thing. Alright, Gravy Thelumps. Can I start the fight? Game, please. Please, I promise. Okay, I think the game is stuck on the previous step. I think maybe I'll end up having to reload it after this. Give me just... I've officially been in the shop for now 10 minutes. I think that might actually be the case.
Come on in. Let's chat.
So put your little hand in mine. What? The game is trying to save me from making this decision. Should I just go forward without it?
The Bazaar's a crazy place, right?
Like, if I just click leave right now, will everything be fine?
Haha. Now this will inspire the crew.
I'm gonna try it one more time. Get rid of that. And that. And the multi-tool. I take the rifle. I put the rifle on board next to the silencer. I even sold the right things this time. I try and leave the fight, and now I'm bricked. What on earth? You know what? I'm gonna take this as a sign. It's tried to be a sign so many times. How could I possibly distrust this? I mean, I can think of the instance in which I would distrust this, and that's I leave this encounter, and it still does it, even though... Alright. Well, I'm gonna reboot the game. I'll be back with you in a sec. Alright, this is after the reload. I still can't leave this store.
I am the last daughter of...
Okay, on camera, I conceded this run. I assumed it was done. I pressed the concede button. But I've had to turn the camera back on just in case this now works.
You should know, I'm a bit of a legend on Palladium.
Alright. I guess concede strats are in the game now. It looks like it's completely broken the music for the game, though. Sniper rifle's probably not going to get to fire 3 times, which would be requisite to win this fight here. Oh, that's a nasty board. Yeah, that was a really nasty board right there.
Got talent.
Okay, it doesn't count me as having... okay. The servers appear to be back up now. Right. Yeah, it looks like the servers actually went down for a period of time there, but they are back up and we can utilize them to go to Argenta. I'm so glad it didn't save the concede. I really didn't want to concede this. Flanking criticals. The first time you use a large item each fight, adjacent items get 15% additional critical chance. The Cove. The Cove could give that to the sniper rifle as well as Pearl. Nothing wrong with that. Balanced friendship for additional friends that I have. I have no friends. Honed arsenal, 1%. So just 1% crit damage. Yeah, I'm going to go for the 15%. That's cheap enough.
There are a lot of steps in this staircase, but it's beautiful up there.
It's precisely time for golden experience right now. Mod Squad versus Infernal Envoy versus Suburb Tooth. Can I beat Mod Squad? I felt like I was pretty strong, but I definitely feel like I'm less so with the sniper rifle. It's just I have a lot more direction now with the sniper rifle. Mod Squad does gain a lot of burn, which is probably gonna be bad for me. Probably gonna be too bad for me, even. The Infernal Envoy also does a lot of burn, but has less health themselves. I've got to consider the fact that the sniper rifle is likely to have to fire 3 times at least to take down any of these enemies. Mod Squad, it would have to fire 5 times. So if I'm not winning before, Sandstorm, I'm losing. That said, I am slowing their items consistently, so Docklines is really, really pulling some solid work here. I definitely beat Sabretooth. I probably beat the Infernal Envoy. I don't know if I beat Mod Squad. They have 5 items on board. I can't keep all of those perma-slowed. I also don't really get any loot from the Sabretooth that I care about. I'm going to go to the Infernal Envoy. I'm pretty confident we can win this fight, as they only have 3 items, and we slow 3 items for 4 seconds every 4 seconds, so we're going to keep the Restorative Fire Claw, the other Restorative Fire Claw, and the Sunlight Spear all frozen here. I do get a pretty solid amount of shielding. That's working out pretty well. I just think by this point, I would have enough burn on me from the Mod Squad, specifically from Charcoal, who, when another friend is used, gains 1 burn for the fight. I think I would have enough burn on me that I wouldn't be able to survive. I could be wrong, but this was the safe decision.
Pathetic, as spineless as a jellyfish.
Sunlight Spear. Every 6 seconds, heal for 30 and burn 1. When you heal, this gains 2 burn for the fight. Unlikely to be relevant. Medkit for healing, extracts, some income. A little bit late for that income. Aquatic items have their cooldowns reduced by 3%. I am always going to want to keep some part of this aquatic build on, and that's probably the dock lines. So that's at least an upgrade I know is not going to be outpaced and become irrelevant. Snack time, Ollie sells weapons. The only problem is I only care about exactly one weapon at the moment. It's called the sniper rifle.
This world is full of noise. You must find quiet within.
Your leftmost item has crit chance, your rightmost item has crit chance. I'm going to go for rightmost, just give 5% crit chance to our sniper rifle.
Be its master.
It's not very likely I can go to Goldie and afford anything worthwhile. Unless I sell the Cove. Which there's actually play in doing that, if I find the right thing. You know what? Goldie, show me what I could do. That's not what I was thinking you would show me. Shark Ray. When you haste, this gains 20 damage for the fight. I have no haste triggers yet. But if I could, that would be great. Also, Ambergris, heal equal to triple this item's value. When you buy another aquatic item, this gains 3 value. Not awful, but the real reason that you want Ambergris is so that you can sell it later. Lighthouse. When you slow, charge this 3 seconds. Oh, there's the haste trigger and holsters. And cannon. I'm doing it. I'm gonna sell the Cove for the Lighthouse. I was specifically looking for a gold property that I could replace my Cove with. When you slow, charge this 3 seconds. Sunlight Spear is not gonna be relevant. So the Lighthouse takes 6 seconds to give 8 burn. When you slow, charge this for 3 seconds. So the dockline slows 3 items at the same time, causing 1 trigger of the Lighthouse as well as getting halfway to another trigger of the Lighthouse. So we are mainly a burn damage build at this point. Lighthouse, thankfully, is aquatic, so it still tries to pass back its healing to the Pearl. This build isn't there yet, but it has a lot of space to move. I can include more slow triggers in this build, like a clam especially, an upgraded clam instead of the coral. So it slows a bunch of times at the start of the fight, immediately triggering the Lighthouse. The sniper rifle and the Lighthouse are probably not both going to stay in the same build. But the Cove, rather, and the rifle were unlikely to stay in the same build for that long either. The enemy has so much shield that my burner's not really doing too much. I did expect I would probably lose a couple of fights after picking up this Lighthouse. That said, I've already been losing the fights because the sniper rifle's not fast enough. But I would have kept the Cove if I had the barbed wire still, so...
Time, boys. Less blunder, more plunder.
Keener sells non-weapon items. There's a fair few non-weapon items I'm interested in. I've got to go.
With no weapons,
There's the bouncy ball.
leave with
Captain's Wheel.
bargains.
When you use a vehicle or a large item, charge this 2 seconds. Lighthouse is a large item. This is an aquatic item, so it will benefit from the Pearl. This, and both the Beach Ball and the Captain's Wheel are different ways for us to try and get haste into this build. The Beach Ball tries to haste other aquatic items. I would really want the Beach Ball to be upgraded all the way to Diamond tier so that it's hasting all of the available items on the board. The Captain's Wheel doesn't need to be hasted because it itself gives haste charges to other things and it's charged. So like if I took the Silencer and Coral off of the field, I could put the Captain's Wheel between the Lighthouse and the docklines. So suddenly when the docklines goes off, it causes the Lighthouse to go off and gets it halfway to another charge, which gets Captain's Wheel halfway to another charge. This is getting somewhere. This is getting somewhere. I'm taking the Captain's Wheel. I don't think Beach Ball also goes in the same build. I think it's one or the other of the two. Now, the Lighthouse also doesn't need to be hasted, actually. The Lighthouse just needs the slow effects from the dockline. So the Lighthouse is already being hasted, kind of, by the Captain's Wheel giving haste to the docklines, which then charges the Lighthouse. This is an argument to put the beach ball on the field, isn't it? Like, if beach ball was the other item instead of the sniper rifle right now, I think we actually trigger the pearl a bunch of times, getting our shielding from that. Everything becomes much faster because we don't just have a brick in this position, and we focus on our burn damage instead. I'm gonna take the beach ball.
Glad we could share this experience today.
It's only 7 money there that I could sell. As much as I want additional HP, I think I want 6 regen more in a position where I'm not defending myself that much. We've got the Lich here, who is terrifying and is very capable of stopping my build. Yeah, I don't have enough health, and I don't have enough healing to get through that fight. Trash Golem? Also not really useful for us. Dire Inglet? Also not really. I'm seeing a kind of pattern here. I definitely can't beat the Lich with a gun. And I rely on item activations to amount some small impact on the Lich. That's not good. We need giant impacts. Pearl goes over on the other side of the Lighthouse, so the Lighthouse is still hasting 2 things. Or is still, rather, giving crit to something. In this case, the Pearl. Fine. As much as I want to justify going for the Lich, I know I'm going to die to it, so... won't even take the chance. So we're not perma-hasting our board. But we're getting a reasonable amount of shielding out of the Pearl. With just a single upgrade to either the docklines or the beach ball, everything gets so much faster. Rainbow Potion. I'll hold that, just in case. Lighthouse, when you slow, charges 3 seconds. So Rainbow Potion gives us the ability to field a Weather Glass, which says it has +1 multicast for each... +1 multicast if you have a burn item, a poison item, a freeze item, and a slow item each. So Rainbow Potion by itself triggers all of that. Additional income, aquatic items. Cinders for burn? Yes. Upping the burn of the Lighthouse is the most damage I'm capable of getting right now. Because it's my only thing doing damage. Goldie sells gold tier items. I have another 12 here. You know what? I'm going to Goldie. Yep. That's exactly why. I have 4. I've got to sell the sniper rifle to do it, but I'm doing it. I sell that, and I get the docklines upgrade.
The blade, the quicker the fight.
Oh, hell yeah. So with the docklines upgraded, it slows 4 items for 3 seconds, much easier to perma-slow an enemy board, but also the Lighthouse will be used 2 times, which means the Captain's Wheel is immediately getting charged fully from that, giving out haste to both of its adjacencies. If the Captain's Wheel gets upgraded, or at least gets another second worth of haste to its adjacencies, those will permanently trigger. Those will just loop back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. There will be perma-haste on the dockline, so every 1.9 seconds, it'll do that to the Lighthouse, and then the Captain's Wheel goes off again. This is going great! Ollie sells weapons, lost and found, small. Well, I'll tell you about the weapon situation, as I don't have money, so let's go get a small non-weapon item. It's a catfish.
My fight isn't with you, but if you insist.
Oh boy, that's a lot of weapons. And they attack quite quickly. Lanchan's all there at the very end as well. Yeah, I don't think I shield or heal enough to deal with 12% crit chance, but I mean, I'm keeping their entire board pretty slow, which is certainly nice. Oh my god, we get there. They froze us for a full second, but the burn built up enough. I just need more burn on my Lighthouse.
I flow like the waves.
Oh, you sells weapons. Yeah, I'm not interested. I don't want weapons in this build. Weapons make me weaker. Annoyingly, without selling the Rainbow Potion, I can't get plus 10. So I'm actually just going to go for 50 HP here. Thankfully, I can go to the Monster Ranch and afford the 2 gold tier. Come on, come on, come on. Cinders! Dang. 2 experience is not bad. I'll sell the pelt and then get 2 experience, which should have leveled me up, but I think it can only do that as you're doing a transition screen, so it'll try and level me up after this. The Radiant Corsair would definitely be the best of them for us to beat, but the thing is, I can beat one of your health bars, and then I think I get beaten by the other. Oh no, they also have a random enemy item increases its cooldown by 3 seconds at the start of the fight. That could slow me in the wrong way. That's up against Cosmic Rock, which is entirely useless to this build, and Sergeant Suds, which is also. If I could beat Radiant Corsair, life is great. Don't judge me, I want to see if I can do it. The reason I'm emboldened to do this is because when you have shield, you halve the incoming damage from burn, and my opponent's damage is mainly dealt through burn, except for this anchor. I also managed to keep their entire board in perma-slow, which makes it much safer for us to do. Yeah, I actually think we get through this fight. Come on, give me the Lighthouse, give me the Lighthouse, give me a diamond tier Lighthouse before the end of day 7. Oh my god, we just got there as well. I mean, I'll take Fiery Rebirth and it'd be incredible, but dang.
Maybe a skirmish.
Anchor. Every 12 seconds, deal damage equal to 20% of your enemy's max health. When you use, rather than adjacent item, this gains haste for 2 seconds. Nope. Not what I'm looking for, buddy. Sharpening Stone, scrap for additional shield. Aquatic items have their cooldown. Honestly, aquatic items have their cooldowns reduced in this one. Nothing wrong with doing that. I don't think the captain's wheel works at the docks, right? It might not, but I can. The thing is, middle sells medium items and an upgrade to either the beach ball or the captain's wheel or getting the hourglass, the weather glass are all incredible.
I'm pretty laid back.
There's the upgrade to the captain's wheel. We now have Perma-haste on board.
Just toss that on my back and I'll trot it to your door.
Shovel at the start of the day, get a small item from any hero. I'd have to get 2 days worth of items for that to be worthwhile in terms of gold. But it also does help me look at small items from other characters. I'm going to save my money. Katana's back. Figurehead. Aquatic items to the left of this had their cooldown reduced by 10%. Weapons to the right have 25 additional damage. No. Arbalest, when you haste, this gains 25 damage to the might, though. Thank you. Yeah, I definitely think I'm staying in this kind of a build. I don't think I'm fielding another weapon at this point. So I can't imagine why the Colt would be where I want to go. Let's gain 3 spare change. Level up once more. Cinders, definitely what I'm looking for here is Cinders. Especially because it's now +3 burn per Cinders I sell. 18 burn on the Lighthouse is really good. Isness hasn't dropped around yet,
Not to
though.
squabble with nobodies.
Oh, I can see why. That's a lot of burn, baby. They've got the Fiery Cutlass on field, second degree burns and fiery already. They've also got a Gold Tier Ignition Core powering it up. I get to slow a lot of their board, and my burn is starting to be larger than their burn. Oh no, 11 HP indifference. Oh, that's maddening. But it does mean we're actually quite powerful, which I'm constantly trying to figure out if I am. I probably should have taken the hint when we beat the Radiant Corsair that we're quite powerful at the moment. Anyway, Nufu Soul skills. The first time you use a large item each fight. Slow 3 items for 5 seconds, which means the Lighthouse will then trigger itself another 1.5 times immediately. Yes, please. There's another eating contest, and I'm hungry. The more max HP, the far better off for us. Robo Bouncer. I do not have a vehicle, but there's good things from Car Conductor anyway. Specifically, they have a gold captain's wheel. They could upgrade my captain's wheel, actually. Robo Bouncer. Doesn't have almost anything I care about. Joyful does have Rapid Thor. If you use a vehicle or a large item. When you use a vehicle or a large item, charge this 2 seconds. So if I had Race Carl is also available in this fight. If I had Race Carl and put it in the position of Beach Ball, Captain's Wheel gives out haste to 2 adjacent items, giving Race Carl 4 seconds worth of charge. It attacks a lot quite quickly. Race Carl and the Captain's Wheel are both good pickups here from Car Conductor. I think the Beach Ball, we might be at Perma-haste, or rather, you know, like, Perma-triggers, even without it. It's nice, of course, for the Pearl, at least, being another aquatic item that charges. But I think Race Carl could probably take that slot. We'll have to see. Hello, Race Carl. I mean, yes, the Beach Ball is a lot of the additional aquatic triggers as well. Sorry, the additional haste triggers, rather. But this is a vehicle, which means both Race Carl triggering and the Lighthouse triggering are conditions for Captain's Wheel. Seraphina sells enchanted items. That's not really relevant, but if you upgrade any of my items and they become enchanted, suddenly it's the biggest play in the entire game. But also, they would cost a lot. Bakun sells medium and large. Possibility of upgrading the Lighthouse there. I'm gonna go to Bakun. I mean, possibility of upgrading the Lighthouse or the Captain's Wheel. We will have Perma-haste on stuff. The car itself doesn't need haste. I think the haste triggers now go on to the Lighthouse. Middle sells medium items. We can relax before the next store or go to JJ's. Middle, I could go and look at your medium items and see if you have Weatherglass immediately available for sale or the Beach Ball. No, I'm not rolling. Scavenger hunt for 3 loot items. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing cinders. Hopefully the loot items are. Dang. 9 additional damage for Race Carls. Not awful. I lose the additional crit chance for the Pearl, given by the Lighthouse, unfortunately. But I still think I'm probably positioned correctly. Oh, right, scrap for Pearl. I didn't even think about that being useful. Jotex, you and I have won the same amount of matches. I think my build is really good, but I keep changing things about it. So is it really good or does it need to change? Okay, that's going to be a lot of very quick attacks. I'm going to need to go off quickly here.
Defeat does not defeat me.
Rayskull's certainly good.
All cannon.
All of my items that need haste still have perma-haste. If not even more than perma-haste. Gaining contest for 150 HP. It's very expensive for 150 HP this late in the game compared to other sources that can give you that, but I need it. Andy, you sell small items. There are some small items I could see myself replacing the Pearl with, but I could also upgrade the Pearl.
Just taking the first step toward good taste.
Grape shot when you use another item with ammo. No. Throwing knives for crit. Also no. And the Piranha. A slowing item in the grappling hook. Attacks every 7 seconds. That's not going to be the case for us.
Junk. Go see Curio.
Death Knight Reaper. I'm pretty sure it's Death Knight Reaper here for us. Specifically, when you use a weapon, freeze a smaller item for 2 seconds. Hypnotic Drain would be incredible. Elite Duelist is, at best, absolutely fine for us. Bloodreef Captain is actually probably the best possibility here with the full arsenal as a skill. Your items cooldowns reduced by 5%. If you have a vehicle, another 5%. If you have a weapon, another 5% if you have a tool. But Death Knight Reaper has 5 experience, and I'm almost certain I can destroy this man. Especially with the perma-slow, because the enemy's weapons are so slow by base that perma-slowing them gets them to pretty much the point that I'm not certain they're even going to happen. Oh, no, never mind. I take 2 attacks. And then the life of the Death Knight.
See that plank? Walk it.
Sapphire. Freeze an item and increase your other items. Freeze. Not really that great for us. Lighthouse. So Lighthouse is only appears at gold in the first step. So its diamond tier could actually be really impressive here. Nope, never mind. It gives it 4 additional burn. Oh boy. 4 additional burn? Oh, it's still probably the best upgrade on the board.
Now this will inspire the crew.
Middle sells medium items that can still include
Nothing huge. All about moderation.
fishing rod for fishing for small aquatic items every day? I don't think so. There's a rifle and torpedo. When you use another aquatic item with ammo, this gains 20 damage to the fight. If the item is large, reload an ammo. And another aquatic or an item with ammo. So yeah, this would get a fair amount of damage. We have an aquatic item and it's large. And we're using a lot of aquatic items. So the torpedo would reload and would get a fair amount of damage. It just wouldn't fire very quickly at all. Star Shot. I don't think so. 15% cooldown reduction is nice. Powder keg, every 20 seconds, deal damage equal to 30% of your enemy's max HP and destroy this. When you burn, charge this for 2 seconds. I don't want a dead slot on board. I want the Lighthouse to do enough work to not have to have a powder keg.
Every item finds its buyer. It's a relationship, you know?
Deep sea fishing, gumball machine. I think I might go gumballs. I almost never want to do this. But HB and crit, so green and blue, and actually the yellow ones are kind of nice as well. Additional shielding on the Pearl. So we got 3% crit chance, some additional shielding. Yeah. Yeah. I also don't need to hold on Catfish. Catfish is held on to just in case I really need it for the sake of Weather Glass, but I have the Rainbow Potion. Blood Dragon.
I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share of storms.
There's the Weather Glass. Oh, you've got Black Pepper with the Weather Glass? That's so good! Their Weather Glass is getting hastes, Perma-haste from the Astrolabe. Thankfully, I'm also slowing it, countering that Perma-haste. Oh, but I didn't manage to slow it the last 2 times there, and I'll be losing my life for it. Come on, good enchantment. Crit effects, eh? Captain's Wheel can't take crit effects. Dock Lines can't take crit effects. Lighthouse, I imagine just 50% crit chance, right? Yeah, 50% crit chance. Race Call, 50% crit chance. Pearl, 50% crit chance. Okay. So all of the items that I have interact with crit chance very boringly. I'm just going to give it to the Lighthouse. Lighthouse would desperately want other enchants, though. So I'm not really thrilled about this, but
I'm on the
sure.
edge of the plank.
Race Call is a vehicle, so it's activating the Captain's Wheel. It has to still be good, right? Every 4 seconds, it activates naturally. And when it activates, it gives half the charge back to Captain's Wheel for it to activate again. This is more haste triggers, but then I'm not benefiting from them anymore. It just feels like the beach ball doesn't do anything. So Race Call has to be better than it in this instance. It's just Race Call also has so much more potential if we also get other things that support this. Specifically, what I really need to support this are other skills. I'm going to leave my money open for possibly fishing for skills on this round and get Regenerative Tincture for 11. And I'll take 5 gold. I absolutely beat the Lord of the Wastes.
Yes, I will dance with you.
Okay, Flambage has gone off for the first time. Yes, it's definitely going to be critting. Anyway, the enemy is dead.
Do not corrupt us.
It's over already.
Genie Lamp!
Barely got our flags up.
I did hit the Prestige Fate Barrier. You can't gain Prestige back and then hit Fate's Barrier again. You only get to hit Fate's Barrier once. So it's not... This is not for... 1 second. Scrap for Shield. I guess it's probably going to be Scrap for Shield here. Sharpening Stone for damage on the Race Skull, which I guess does eventually do some good damage. We'll go for the shields. So, to me, Genie Lamp is probably most useful for getting additional max HP. So I want to get as much max HP as I possibly can before I go to Genie's Lamp and get 5% max HP 3 times in a row. And I also want to use it to re-roll shops that I'm not interested in. Because once you go to Genie's room and then come back, you get a different set of shops offered to you. So Kina, I only really care about the Weather Glass from you right now. That's like it. Snack Time? 300 max HP? I do like that. Especially before I'm about to try and get a bunch more. Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay. Let's figure out who this goes on and why it is Race Carl. Oh, hell yes. So the Sirocco Step is going to give a haste charge to one of our items. Docklines. Docklines would get 2 hastes on other items. Fine. Captain's Wheel is just going to double its haste duration. That makes sense. Lighthouse would haste 3 items for 2 seconds, which actually is pretty sick. And Race Carl, yeah. So Race Carl, this is why I find this so interesting. Race Carl says, when you haste, charge this for 2 seconds. If I give it the turbo upgrade here, it gets haste 2 items for 3 seconds. So it activates, it hastes 2 other items for 3 seconds, giving it 4 seconds worth of charge to itself immediately. I just have to compare that against Deadly Lighthouse. So Race Carl gives itself 4 seconds of charge immediately. In doing so, that's after activating, it also gives half of charge to Captain's Wheel. Does Deadly Lighthouse or Race Carl trigger more? Docklines triggers twice every time or rather Deadly Lighthouse triggers twice every time the docklines go off. Which causes the Captain's Wheel to trigger once. Which causes Race Carl to half trigger.
Sails down, anchors up. Just waiting for your command.
I think the Deadly Lighthouse is actually the choice. So I know it's already deadly and has the 50% crit chance, but if when this is used, it gives 3 instances of haste, it will trigger Race Carl. It will trigger most of Race Carl, rather. Do I have more slow triggers or more haste triggers? I've got 4 slow triggers. And 2 haste triggers. This happens quite quickly, though. Oh, I don't know! I don't know which is better! Oh, gosh. If this slowed instead, that would be the best. Good old turbo Race Carl. It is my hovercraft. I'm gonna sell the genie lamp now. Go to genie. Please give me 5% max HP. And again. And again.
Made this wish, and it has served him pretty well.
Maxita? Please don't freeze all my items. Don't you dare freeze my items. My board is so good. Don't freeze my items.
Nobody's.
Oh, first 5 times you use your rightmost item, freeze an item. You got a beta ray on board for freezing. You've got the core enhanced for ice. Alright, I don't think it really mattered what I was doing. That's really disappointing. That is really, really disappointing for a run that I think had so much more potential. There's definitely a lot to discuss in terms of how to get the most efficiency out of the things that I have access to. I would love to hear, especially with working, what might have been much more efficient than that, but also running into permafreeze is... I could have done any version of that, and I was still going to lose to the permafreeze. Dang. I'm really sad to only see one chest after that, but I'm really, really proud of that run still. I think it's a lot of interesting decisions. We got to use a lot of items that we don't usually get to use. Hit a lot of good luck over the course of it. And a little bad luck, but that'll happen. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody, the name of the game. Better believe it's been the Bazaar. Top left is a series playlist for all the way content of the game past, present, and future. YouTube recommendation is down below. Streaming past are the names of the people who are generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays. And above the thank to, and a special thanks this episode to Jazzy. Hopefully you'll have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.